I work for Tokyo Electron. I'm the project leader for TEL India project. We are making our entry into India. We are starting with, of course, the customer support for Tata Semiconductor Fab in Dholera. Plus, we're also looking at utilizing Indian talent for our own R&D. We're also extending our engagement with the universities at IIT Bombay, IISN. We're also expanding beyond that right now as we speak. Regarding today's events, the actual interaction with PM Modi ji started on August 30th, Saturday, August 30th, when he visited our factory in Miyagi, TEL Miyagi. So that was a special event for us. That's when it was a wonderful event for us. We were not just excited to host him, but honored to host him. So we could show him the tools that will be moving into the Tata Fab. He was very thrilled. He had a lot of questions, detailed questions, very interactive. So we could show him the real tools where we process these wafers. He visited our etch factory on the 30th of August. And so there was a good connection for us. So when we came here, what we did today was we connected that team with kind of on a graphic level where we could use those physical model of the tool and create a 3D model, and so that we can train the Indian engineers in the future. So it was a very good connection, and it was very easy for Modi ji to understand the connection. I was really, it was not just interactive in our factory, but also very interactive here. So he was able to connect the whole thing, even though it's just almost like 3-4 days ago. He had enough clarity in what we had showed earlier, and he was able to connect the whole thing. So we explained to him what we are trying to do in India. He had a few questions. He also wanted to make sure that we bring in the latest and greatest and also train the Indian engineers. He was very particular about that. A personal incident, it's very personal, nothing to do with Tokyo Electron, but Modi ji was asking me where I am from, and I did say I'm from Chennai. That's where I'm originally from. And today, this was last week when he came to our factory, but today when he entered our booth, the first thing he said was Vanakkam, and I was thrilled. I mean, he remembered that I'm from Chennai, and having that connection is amazing. So I think he has a phenomenal memory. His memory, he's probably meeting 10,000 people a day or something, but his memory and also his urge to learn new things is just phenomenal. At this age, it's really phenomenal. So I think it was a good interaction this morning. He still wanted to learn a lot. He wanted to make sure we are delivering, and so we did have a good interaction. The first and foremost is there is a misconception with, I'm not saying amongst Indian students, amongst in general all students, not just Indian students. Most of them perceive that the entry point for semiconductor industry is electronics and electrical. No, not exactly. The entire value chain has different set of engineering skills that we need. For example, if you look at the device side, which is like say the Tata side, they will probably need more device engineering, so electronics and electrical engineering, those graduates. But if you look at once the fabrication side where the tools come in, we will need more chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, physics. If for our simulation, we use a lot of plasma physics. So need a variety of engineers to do all these tasks. And then when you go towards our chemical side or material side, a lot more chemists, not just chemical engineering, but chemists are required. So a different level of skills and variety of skills are required. So I would really ask students to think, beyond just, for example, a mechanical engineering student to say that, semiconductor is not my field or something. Not exactly. Most engineers from different variety of fields will be a good fit for semiconductor industry in different roles, of course. So I would have them really open up and think about what are the possible options for them to enter the industry. That's one. The second is, of course, I would have them prepare, at least have a basic understanding. We don't expect them to have high level understanding, but a basic understanding of the industry, what the value chain is, what are the different roles, who does what. For example, Tata, a customer like Tata, there's a certain role they play. Equipments like us, so I want them to kind of know who fits there in the value chain, something to understand the whole. And also, the third thing, I want them to be excited. The way to get excited is to understand what the connection. If you just think semiconductor and equipment and the value chain, yes, that's one. But why are we doing all these things? I think there should be the bigger connection of the end use. For example, if you look at the future industry, if you look at, say, 20, 30 years ago, the content of semiconductor was probably like 10, 20%. Then in probably 10 years ago, it was 20%. Now it's just pervasive, pretty much everything, right? In the future, it'll be even more pervasive. So everything will need a semiconductor chip. And AI is so, it's prevalent everywhere right now. What we were imagining probably 10 years ago is now a reality. So it's going to be a fast-paced, accelerated technology changes because of semiconductors. So it's a both give and take, in the sense we work hard to make these cutting-edge chips. That cutting-edge chips in turn makes newer applications, that makes newer requirement, and then we probably follow through with more technology. So I want them to be excited to understand what the connection to the world is, and how can they there's a huge contribution from this industry to the world. I want them to understand that also. If you look at the importance of the industry, like I mentioned earlier, it's a pervasive technology. The national security or the implications, plus dependence on semiconductor technology is extremely high. It's like oil, and as Modi ji was saying yesterday, alluding to yesterday, that oil is gold, black gold, and semiconductor is a diamond, right? It's a digital diamond. That's exactly true. It is essential part of our lives. So it's not. It's important for a country like India to start creating an ecosystem where we can have some self-sufficiency, not all, but some self-sufficiency, and start growing over that. So it's an important for the government to be involved to seed this industry. Now, I think the government is doing its bit now. I would assume probably in 7 to 10 years time frame, the private industries will pick up where the government left and start growing big. We need this government help. The amount of capital expenses that's required to start a fab, run a fab, and also to connect the demand side. Even if you produce, you have to make sure you connect to the demand. There's a lot of government help required to just get this industry started. And both this government, ISM, and METI are really doing a great job in doing that. Not just the money part of it, they are able to connect different dots. That's insane. That's really phenomenal. So it requires a lot more traction than most of the countries. But if you look at most of the countries, even US or Japan or Europe or China, there's a lot of government involvement now. This industry is capital intensive, also requires some strategic, both regulatory support from the government, policy support from the government. So it is a requirement now to sustain this industry over a long period.